Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt just a little slower than you used to? Or found that lifting something you once carried with ease now feels like a bit of a struggle? Maybe you've noticed your arms don't feel quite as firm, or your legs aren't quite as steady. It sneaks up, doesn't it? One day, you're gardening, walking, doing your daily errands with ease, and then little by little, things just feel heavier. Now, a lot of people will tell you, that's just aging. And yes, our bodies do change with time. But here's the truth most people never hear. Losing muscle strength isn't just about getting older. In fact, there's something far more subtle, something millions of seniors eat every single day, that could be quietly stealing your strength, your energy, and your independence. It's a food that doesn't seem harmful at all. In fact, it's probably something you were taught was a healthy choice. You might have even had it this morning, thinking you were doing your body a favor. But what if I told you that this one innocent food could be one of the biggest reasons you're feeling weaker? Let's talk about it, because if you care about staying strong, staying independent, and enjoying life to the fullest after 60, this is something you need to know. Now picture this. You wake up in the morning, you've got your cup of tea or coffee in hand, and you're thinking about breakfast. Maybe you reach for a slice of toast, or pour yourself a bowl of cereal, or maybe you grab a muffin or a bagel. These are normal, everyday foods we've all leaned on for years. But here's the problem. Most of these foods are loaded with what we call refined carbohydrates. And I know, that sounds technical, but let me put it simply. Refined carbs are foods that have been stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients. They digest fast, turn into sugar quickly in your body, and over time, they can wreak havoc on your muscle health. Now, I want to pause here, because this part is important. When you eat these refined carbs, white bread, crackers, pasta, sweetened cereals, your blood sugar shoots up. Then, not long after, it crashes. And this cycle doesn't just leave you feeling tired or cranky. It also creates something far worse inside your body: inflammation. This is the kind of inflammation you don't feel, but it's there slowly damaging your muscle tissue, interfering with how your body uses insulin, and making it harder and harder for your muscles to absorb the nutrients they need to stay strong. That means even if you're trying to eat healthier, say you're adding more protein to your meals, or taking your vitamins, your muscles might not be getting the benefit. Because if you're constantly spiking your blood sugar with refined carbs, your body's ability to repair and maintain muscle is being quietly sabotaged. And that's why so many seniors who seem to be doing everything right still feel like they're losing strength. It's not your fault. It's just that no one ever told you that food plays such a huge role in muscle maintenance, and that the wrong kind of carbs can be silently working against you. Think about this. Your muscles are like your body's engine. They keep you upright, moving, balanced, independent. When they get weaker, everything else becomes harder. That's how a few skip stairs turns into using the elevator all the time. That's how you go from walking daily to staying inside more. And that's when the real danger sets in, because less movement means more muscle loss. And the cycle keeps going. But here's the good news. You can break that cycle. You don't need to cut out all carbs. Our bodies actually need them. What matters is the kind of carbs you choose. So instead of white toast, try whole grain or sprouted bread that still has its natural fiber. Swap that sugary cereal for a bowl of unsweetened oats with berries. Trade in the white rice for brown rice or quinoa. Choose carbs that digest slowly, keep your blood sugar steady, and feed your muscles instead of draining them. These little shifts might seem small, but over time, they make a massive difference. You'll have steadier energy, less fatigue, and you may even start to feel stronger, like your legs can carry you just a bit farther, or your balance feels a little more stable. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being mindful, becoming aware of the choices we've been making automatically for years, and giving ourselves the chance to make better ones. Now that we've uncovered how refined carbs might be holding you back, let's keep going. Because there's another food just as common, and maybe even more sneaky, that could be silently weakening your muscles day by day. Let's take a closer look. So, we've already uncovered how refined carbs, those common foods like white bread, sugary cereals, and pastries, can quietly chip away at your muscle strength. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. There's another culprit that's just as sneaky, just as common, and just as damaging, and chances are, it's sitting in your fridge or pantry right now. Let me ask you this. Have you ever picked up something at the grocery store that said low fat or fat-free on the label and thought, this must be the healthier choice? You wouldn't be alone. For decades, we were told that fat was the enemy, bad for the heart, bad for the waistline, bad for your health in general. So we switched to fat-free yogurts, skim milk, margarine, and all sorts of products designed to cut out the fat. But here's the twist. In trying to take out the fat, many food companies had to add something else to make those foods still taste good. And that something else was often sugar or worse, artificial ingredients that do your body no favors. Low-fat and fat-free products often contain extra sweeteners, stabilizers, or highly processed ingredients. And just like refined carbs, these can cause inflammation and spikes in blood sugar, two things that quietly, but powerfully, drain your muscles over time. Let's take low-fat yogurt as an example. Sounds healthy, right? But look closely at the label, and you'll often find 15, 20, even 30 grams of sugar packed into one little serving. That's more than some candy bars. And it's not the kind of sugar you'd find naturally in fruit. It's usually added sugar, the kind your muscles really don't like. When your body is bombarded with sugar and processed fillers, it can't do what it's supposed to do: repair, rebuild, and maintain muscle tissue. Instead, it's constantly trying to balance your blood sugar, deal with the inflammation, and manage the stress it's under. And over time, that drains your strength, even if you're eating meals regularly and staying active. Now, here's the part no one tells you. Healthy fats are not your enemy. In fact, your muscles need them. Your brain needs them. Your heart, joints, and hormones all work better when you include the right kinds of fat in your meals. I'm talking about fats like those in olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon or sardines. These are anti-inflammatory. They support muscle recovery. They help your body absorb essential vitamins, especially vitamin D, which plays a huge role in maintaining strength and balance as we age. So the next time you see something labeled fat-free, I want you to pause. Don't just assume it's better. Ask yourself, what did they put in here instead of fat? Because often, that healthy choice might be quietly doing more harm than good. You see, muscle loss doesn't usually come with a big warning sign. It's not like breaking a bone or catching the flu. It's gradual, subtle. One day, you notice it's harder to get up from the couch. The next week, you're skipping your walk because your legs feel tired. Then you stop carrying the laundry upstairs, or you start using the elevator more often. And the worst part, it all feels normal, like just another part of getting older. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can build strength back. Your body wants to heal, it just needs the right tools to do it. One of the most powerful tools? Protein. And I know you've heard that word 1,000 times. But let me ask you, are you actually getting enough protein each day? And just as important, are you spreading it out through your meals? A lot of seniors make the same mistake. They eat a small breakfast, a light lunch, and then a bigger dinner with their protein. But your body actually builds muscle better when you give it protein throughout the day, not just in one meal. Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't drop off all the bricks at the end of the day and expect the builder to get it done in an hour. No, you deliver materials steadily, so the structure goes up smoothly. Your muscles work the same way. They need steady fuel. That could mean adding a couple of eggs or a bit of Greek yogurt to your breakfast, some tuna or beans to your lunch, and a healthy portion of chicken, lentils, or fish at dinner. Small changes, big payoff. And don't worry, this isn't about eating like a bodybuilder. You're not trying to compete in the Olympics. You just want to stay strong enough to live life on your terms, to get up easily, to enjoy your walks, to carry the groceries, to play with your grandkids without needing to sit down every 5 minutes. That's what real strength looks like after 60. Here's something else to consider. When your diet is high in refined carbs and low-fat processed foods, your body starts storing more fat and losing more muscle even if your weight on the scale doesn't change. That's called sarcopenic obesity, a fancy term that means you're losing muscle while gaining fat, especially around the belly. And that's one of the biggest risk factors for falls, fractures, and a loss of independence later in life. But again, this isn't about fear. This is about awareness. Because once you know better, you can start to make changes. And the good news? Your body responds quickly. In just a few weeks of making better food choices, cutting out the blood sugar, spiking refined carbs, skipping the fake low-fat traps, and adding in real, whole foods, you can start to feel stronger, steadier, and more like yourself again. You might notice you're getting up from your chair more easily. Your walks last a little longer. Maybe your hands feel steadier when lifting a pot, or you find yourself reaching for things without second guessing. These little wins matter. They add up, and they remind you that your best years aren't behind you. They're still unfolding. Let's keep going, because there's one more muscle-damaging food that's almost everywhere, and this one might surprise you even more. We've talked about refined carbs and low-fat processed foods, two of the most common dietary culprits quietly stealing your strength. But there's one more food group that's just as dangerous, and this one hides in plain sight. You'll find it in soups, sauces, snacks, dressings, even the healthy, frozen meals we sometimes rely on when we don't feel like cooking. What I'm talking about is excess sodium, that is, too much salt. Now, don't get me wrong, your body does need some salt, but the key word here is some. The problem is that many of the packaged, processed, and ready-to-eat foods we eat today are loaded with far more sodium than our bodies were ever designed to handle, especially for older adults. And the effects of too much sodium go far beyond blood pressure, although that's a major issue too. What many people don't realize is that high sodium foods can lead to chronic dehydration, the kind you don't always feel right away. And when your body is even slightly dehydrated, your muscles don't function at their best. They get stiff. They weaken faster. They're more prone to cramps and fatigue. Over time, this constant strain can wear down your mobility, slow your reflexes, and increase your risk of falls or injury, especially if you're not drinking enough water throughout the day, which many seniors aren't. To make matters worse, excess sodium can cause your body to leak calcium through your urine. And calcium, as you probably know, is essential not just for bones, but for muscle contractions too. When your body loses calcium too quickly, it becomes harder for your muscles to contract properly. That's how weakness sets in, silently and gradually. So what can you do? Start by looking at the labels of the foods you already eat. You might be surprised to see that a single serving of canned soup or a frozen meal can have over 800 or even 1,000 milligrams of sodium. When you add that up across a day or a week, it's no wonder our muscles feel drained. Instead, look for low sodium or no salt added versions of your favorites. Or even better, try making some simple swaps at home. A homemade soup with herbs and a pinch of sea salt can be just as flavorful and way better for your muscles than anything from a can. And while we're on the subject of what to drink, don't forget the importance of hydration. It's one of the simplest, most overlooked ways to support your muscles. Even mild dehydration makes your muscles feel more tired, tight, and sore. So aim for small, regular sips of water throughout the day. Add a slice of lemon or cucumber if plain water doesn't appeal to you. Herbal teas are great too, as long as they're caffeine-free. Now, let's take a step back and think about everything we've talked about so far. If refined carbs, low-fat processed foods, and sodium-packed meals are quietly draining your muscle strength, then the path forward becomes pretty clear. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods that feed your muscles, not weaken them. It's not about going on a diet. It's about making food work for you, giving your body the nutrients it needs to stay active, strong, and independent. And here's the encouraging part. It's never too late. Your body is incredibly resilient. Studies have shown that even people in their 70s, 80 seconds, and beyond can rebuild muscle strength with the right combination of movement and nutrition. And no, this doesn't mean you need to join a gym or lift heavy weights unless you want to. Something as simple as regular walking, gentle strength exercises at home, or balance-focused movements like Tai Chi or light yoga can all help stimulate muscle growth and protect against falls. But the foundation for all of that movement starts in the kitchen. What you eat is either fueling your strength or stealing it. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Close your eyes, if you like. Picture yourself 6 months from now. You're standing up from your favorite chair with ease. You're walking around the grocery store without feeling like you need to lean on the cart. You're carrying your laundry basket, working in your garden, maybe even playing with your grandchildren, and doing it all with more confidence, more strength, and more freedom. That version of you is possible. It's not a fantasy. It just takes a few small shifts. Swapping the white bread for whole grain. Reaching for full-fat Greek yogurt instead of the sugary kind. Choosing fresh or frozen veggies instead of sodium-loaded cans. Drinking a little more water. Adding some healthy fats to your meals. These aren't extreme changes, they're powerful ones. And here's the most beautiful part. As you nourish your muscles, you start to feel the difference not just in your body, but in your spirit. There's something deeply empowering about being able to trust your body again, to know that it can support you, move with you, and carry you through your days with strength and stability. So don't let these so-called innocent foods fool you. Just because something looks healthy or feels familiar doesn't mean it's helping you. But now you know better. Now you have the awareness, the tools, and the motivation to choose foods that give you strength, not steal it. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel steady. And you deserve to enjoy this chapter of life with energy, confidence, and freedom. And before we wrap up, let's go over a few final reminders, practical tips that can help you put all this into action starting today. Because knowledge is powerful, but it's what you do with it that truly transforms your health and your life. So, where do we go from here? You've learned that 3 of the most common, everyday food choices, refined carbs, low-fat processed products, and sodium-packed meals, can quietly and consistently wear down your muscles, drain your energy, and make it harder for you to stay strong and independent. But you've also learned something just as important. You are not stuck. Your strength is not gone forever. Your future is not fixed. Even in your 60s, 70 seconds, or beyond, your body is still capable of growth, of healing, and of rebuilding strength. And that process starts with what's on your plate. So let's make this real. Let's talk about the simple steps you can take starting today to support your muscle strength naturally. First, choose whole foods as often as possible. That means less out of a box and more from the earth. Whole grains like oats, brown rice, and quinoa instead of white bread or sugary cereal. Fresh fruits and vegetables instead of canned versions with added salt or syrup. Real, nourishing foods that your muscles love. Second, don't fear healthy fats. Foods like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish are not your enemy, they're your allies. They help reduce inflammation, improve nutrient absorption, and keep your muscles fueled and ready to move. Third, make protein your friend at every meal. Whether it's eggs at breakfast, beans or tuna at lunch, or chicken or lentils at dinner, spreading your protein intake throughout the day helps your body hold on to muscle and even build more of it over time. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Even small amounts add up when you're consistent. Fourth, and this one's easy but often overlooked, drink enough water. It sounds simple, but staying hydrated keeps your muscles working properly, prevents cramping, and helps you move more comfortably. If plain water doesn't excite you, try herbal teas or infuse your water with slices of lemon, cucumber, or mint. Whatever keeps you sipping. And finally, move your body. Even if it's just walking around the house, stretching in the morning, or doing gentle chair exercises while watching TV. Your muscles respond to movement. They thrive on it. And the more you move, the more strength you maintain and gain. You don't have to change everything overnight. You don't need to throw out your pantry or start a brand new routine. Start with one small change. Swap your white bread for whole grain. Choose real Greek yogurt over the low-fat version with added sugar. Check the label on your favorite soup. Maybe even go for a short walk after lunch today. Because here's the truth. Small steps build big results. And with every small, intentional choice you make, you're not just strengthening your body, you're protecting your freedom, your independence, your ability to live the way you want to live. And that's really what this is about, isn't it? It's not just about muscles. It's about bending down to tie your shoes without worrying about getting back up. It's about picking up your grandchild without straining your back. It's about standing tall when you walk into a room, feeling steady on your feet, and trusting your body to support you every step of the way. You have the power to make that happen, not by following the latest fad or trying to do it all at once, but by becoming just a little more aware, by choosing foods that support you, nourish you, and give you back the strength that's still inside you waiting to be rediscovered. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Take a look at your next meal and ask yourself, is this helping my muscles or hurting them? That one question can change the way you eat, the way you feel, and the way you live. And if this video helped you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you noticed a change in your strength lately? Are there foods you're planning to cut back on or new ones you want to try? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might just inspire someone else to make a healthy change too. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video. It helps us reach more people who need this information. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss our weekly videos, designed especially for folks over 60 who want to live well, feel strong, and stay independent. Your health is your power, and no matter your age, it's never too late to reclaim it. Here's to living your best life with strength, confidence, and joy at any age. You've got this.